Good evening.
It's the history of the Tottenham.
I'm sorry it didn't cost 55 million, so it cannot be good.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Some of the passing is fucking scratchy.
We are in Champions League, man. Dilly din, dilly dong. Come on.
Sit down. Nobody talk. Sit down.
He's 24 years old. For me, if he's not got it now, when is he going to get it?
And I won more premierships alone than the other 19 managers together.
Welcome back to another episode of the Armchair Managers with myself, Z, and the wonderful Siba. How are you doing, bro?
What's up, guys? I'm doing okay. Not too bad. Played some football this week. Haven't exercised in a long time. So
Yeah.
feeling quite sore in the calves. But other than that, it's been a pretty good week, man. How about you?
It was a nice week for me. Nice week of football. Been playing a lot of Football Manager myself, and my local team made it through. A few of the boys chose to keep playing in our Thursday league, and they made it through to the final after going through on the semifinal in the playoffs. And they're going to be playing that tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to hopefully some silverware on the amateur football front for myself to make up for Man United's shortcomings this season.
Fantastic.
So, got that to look forward to.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Great week of European football once again. Lots of big results. Inter Milan meeting Sevilla in the final after a 5-0 demolition of Shakhtar. What did you watch the game?
To be honest, I was at the pub with some friends, and it was on in the background. Every time I'd glance at the TV, it was Inter Milan scoring. So by the third goal, I kind of lost interest. I could see where it was going. I know last week I did talk about Shakhtar potentially, going through, but they didn't get ticking as I hoped they would. So Inter through cleanly. What about you?
I mean, so I caught the game just at the end of the second half. I had some work to do, unfortunately, during the game, and personally, my Europa League interest has declined substantially after Man United went.
Naturally.
Yeah, got knocked out, and but I'm obviously looking forward to this final. I think it's going to be an interesting one, seeing Sevilla, the old guard, and we had Jeed on the last episode, diehard Sevilla fan, telling us all about their philosophy, their kind of setup, the foundation, Monchi as their director of football, their recruitment policy, and the system they have going under Lopetegui. But Inter Milan, on the other hand, a lot of Man United old boys, Antonio Conte, also a lot of Premier League old boys, I should say, playing that very same system we saw in the Premier League that had Chelsea win the league. Granted, they weren't in European football that season, but how do you make what do you make of Inter's chances going into the final up against Sevilla?
Definitely a bigger challenge for them than Shakhtar Donetsk.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can plot the same kind of performance, I mean, Lautaro Martinez is firing, Lukaku's firing, they shouldn't have any trouble at all. Sevilla, as we've seen, are really more of a counter-attacking team, and Conte has got a very rigid structure to his defenses. So I think he'd be well prepared for this game.
Both very strong teams defensively. Sevilla will most likely keep more of the ball on the day, I feel. But Inter Milan, absolutely devastating on the counterattack. And they showed that with absolute precision in the final 15 minutes of that semi-final against Shakhtar. My mistake. 3 goals, I believe it was, in 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you? It's going to be obviously a different challenge for them facing Sevilla, a team that's, with no disrespect to Shakhtar, far more disciplined defensively, perhaps much better organized. They know how to kind of play against teams that want to counter. They know how to play against teams who also enjoy possession of the football. What is your prediction?
They've shown they can soak up the pressure, so to say. And there is also the factor that the Europa League trophy is more or less Sevilla's trophy, having won it the most times. But honestly, I think Inter will be well prepared for this game. It could be a surprising outcome if Sevilla do win, but my vote's for Inter.
Yeah, I could see that happening, but for some reason, I think it's going to be a bit of a cagey affair. I think it's going to be tight. May go to extra time. I'd probably put the advantage on the side of whoever scores the first goal. I just think it's going to be that kind of tight tactical match.
Yeah, I mean, what I don't want to happen is for Inter to spend the first, where teams spent that first 10 minutes, 15 minutes feeling the other team out, like having a more cautious approach. I think you need to just go in comfortable and play their natural game, and the goal will come.
And the final is a final, isn't it? Form goes out the window often, as we've seen in the FA Cup earlier this season. And arguably in the Champions League, where we have a first-time finalist in Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, they finally made it.
After all that Qatari money spent, the acquisition of Neymar, Mbappe on a permanent deal, Ander Herrera, of course, Di Maria, many famous names throughout football. Thiago Silva, of course, their 35-year-old stalwart in centre back, their captain. What do you think of it? What did you make of the game? They put them away, didn't they?
First thing I'd say is, like, as you mentioned, they've got a lot of quality in their team, but they've had that quality in there for a while, Like, these players aren't necessarily, like, brand new in their first season at PSG.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be argued that them not making it to a final before could be down to just the head coach and the system they were playing. And we've seen, like, the emergence of, like, several, like, young German managers recently, with likes of Nagelsmann at RB Leipzig as well.
33. He's not much older than us.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not revealing my age yet, but but yeah, man, definitely, like, he came, he showed up in his dapper suit and looking ready to put them away. But yeah, I mean, quiet game for RB Leipzig, to be honest. Didn't really look that threatening in the final third. They have players in Sabitzer, in Emil Forsberg, Poulsen. They're definitely missing Timo Werner because they weren't as clinical in that final third.
Typical Chelsea, yeah. Just stealing your top scorer right when you need him.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about you, but man of the match for me was Angel Di Maria. Honestly,
yeah, he had my feelings as a United fan aside, you have to kind of just look at the way he played out there. Outstanding match for him. I think he was fantastic. He was everywhere. He kept the ball well, moved the ball well, had great game management, and scored that goal as well, didn't he?
That Neymar back heel, honestly, that's special.
They've got players that just rise to the occasion on that stage, especially against certain opposition. I don't imagine they're going to be playing quite the same expansive flair football in the final.
Yeah, I doubt so, because I mean, if you look at their front three and Mbappe, Di Maria, and Neymar, like, they're three very technical players.
Mm-hmm.
And if you try and, like, do that, like, fancy flair shit around Bayern, they just fucking knock you over. I don't think Jerome Boateng, David Alaba, like, those guys have got time for that shit. I don't think it's on, but it'll definitely be interesting.
It'll be interesting also to the prospect of the pace of PSG's attack against Bayern's organization. That'll make a very mouth-watering kind of battle.
Well, I mean, Bayern's got pace too. You've got Alphonso Davies, Serge Gnabry,
your boy Gnabry. Just for all the Arsenal fans listening, you guys let him go because you wanted Oxlade. Just get over it. He's a Bayern player. I get it. Your guys are proud, but
the reason he left is essentially he needed more game time, and he wasn't getting it at Arsenal, and Bayern came from him. So the main point,
West Brom first, didn't he, with Choupo-Moting?
I believe so. I can't remember, honestly. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was West Brom under the management of Tony Pulis, and Pulis said he wasn't good enough to start.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, all credit for his development as a player goes to Bayern. We only have some claim over him as Arsenal fans because he calls himself a Gunner to this day, you know. But other than that, he plays for Bayern. He's a Bayern player, and like he's been fantastic for them today. That first, the first 10 minutes, Leon created several chances.
I thought they could nick a goal early on in the first.
They looked like they would until Gnabry just literally grabbed the game by its balls and like
outstanding.
Yeah, he was surrounded by 6 players for that first goal. Literally,
he just had so much fucking desire. You know, like you see him like every touch on the ball, every sprint, every kind of driving run, cutting inside on his left, especially for the goal. Just what a strike!
Honestly, I don't know about you, but do you feel they were playing 100% today?
Who, Bayern Munich?
Yeah,
I thought they were on cruise control, especially in the second half. I think once they got their 2-goal lead, it was pretty much a match of just controlling the ball and seeing the match out and creating chances, but not with any immediate sense of urgency as we saw against Barcelona. I think with Barcelona, it was definitely personal. At least that's how it looked from a neutral perspective.
Yeah,
for me, they wanted to just ruthlessly tear them to shreds, and they very much did so. I think this was a very professional performance by this Bayern side. They just went about their business. They were definitely a class apart, and they showed that today with the way they went about their business. And just towards the end, Leon couldn't really get near them, could they?
They can afford to do that because of the quality they have on the bench. You know, like look, who did they bring on today? They brought on Coutinho. They brought on Koeman. Yeah, they've got quality on their bench, and I mean, in all fairness to Leon, like. Yes, they've got special players and Hussam Aouar and Moussa Dembele, Memphis Depay, but it can be had like it can be was wasteful today. I think like he had 3 very good chances.
Just didn't seem sharp, did he?
No, really lacking sharpness, and Lopez as well as a keeper. Honestly, he needs to be better.
I thought he did what he could.
He's a good shot stopper, but the key thing for me is like he hasn't got the grip to like really catch the ball, you know?
I mean, those Bayern shots were pretty fucking lethal.
Yeah, I know, but several times like you see him scrambling around his own box. He didn't have the commanding presence you expect from a keeper in a Champions League semi-final. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, if you look at how Leon have performed domestically, and I wanted to move into this, you know, once we kind of covered the performance that Bayern had. Leon have definitely outperformed even themselves. Any expectations, maybe perhaps even Leon fans had going into the Champions League this season, they finished 7th in Ligue 1 and are no longer in Europe as a result of today's defeat. But they played out of their socks getting to the semi-final. I think they went above and beyond what, you know, especially I ever expected of this squad. Bayern Munich, arguably the best club side in European football at the moment. How do you feel about it?
Well, with Lyon, like, yeah, they finished 7th mainly because, you know, the Ligue 1 competition ended prematurely. And I was going to ask you, actually, like, do you think that because they've had less football, because they have had less football than, you know, other teams in Europe who've resumed their leagues after lockdown?
Yeah.
Do you think that's had any effect on the performance in the Champions League? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's football and they're athletes, and the lockdown does have an impact. But the matches you play and the exhaustion, the exertion, the congestion of fixtures, especially for English clubs, I know from the results, it's hilarious. Like seeing a lot of the reaction on social media, people kind of throwing that farmers league tag back at English football fans.
Yeah,
and it's just interesting because
no shame.
Because yeah, of course, and it's good banter. It's fair enough, but at the end of the day, I know for Man United, we played well over 60 matches this season, and the way we kind of came out of the, you know, kind of went for the races right after lockdown. Scoring goals, expressing high intensity pressing football, winning games and fighting to finish in the top 4, that takes a toll. And with United specifically, we don't have the depth to rotate. So that it was pretty much that same first 11 playing every single one of these matches, sometimes 3 times a week, right? And I know it was similar for Arsenal, which is outstanding. Some of the results they got against top 6 sides, and especially your FA Cup running, beating City and then Chelsea consecutively to win your trophy, essentially. But you gave everything. You put everything on the line. And similarly to United, I think the squad that Solskjaer had selected against Sevilla, there was a lack of sharpness you could visibly see, especially with the chances. Chances were created, of course, but the finishing was just subpar. It was not good enough. And City kind of collapsing against the likes of Lyon, who played a very kind of tactical counterattack system and approach to the match. They took their chances and they put them away. And I think fatigue and match congestion and all the kind of impact of going through a lockdown period definitely impacted the English clubs in a negative way ultimately when it came to their Champions League and Europa League performances respectively. Well, what do you think? Do you think the French teams had an advantage not having to resume their domestic league and just going right into Europe?
Definitely. I mean, because the only competition they still had domestically was their equivalent of the FA Cup, the French domestic trophy, where PSG played Saint Etienne in the final, and that was the game that Mbappe was injured in. But other than that, they've really been just chilling. Those who were left in Europe had the time and comfort to prepare. I think the Premier League teams were impacted the most, especially because those top 6 teams were in Europa with Man United in the Europa League. We had City in the Champions League, Chelsea also in Champions League, but also the FA Cup along with City. So yeah, it adds up because you're playing matches, like you said, every few days or so. And because they're semifinals or knockout games, you have to field your best team. But looking ahead towards this final now that we know it's PSG versus Bayern, who's your money on?
Bayern Munich, no doubt. I think Paris have done fantastically. It's the first time they made the final after so much investment. You could see the reaction on the pitch, Neymar dropping to his knees in tears, what it means to them, the passion, the graft. And we talk about the fixture congestion and the fatigue affecting English clubs and kind of trying to protect the pride of the fact that, we both support British teams, English teams. It's to take nothing away from the German and French sides that have made it through to the semifinal. And of course, Sevilla from La Liga and Inter from Serie A making it to the Europa League final. The cup games are such, knockout football is such that you get what you deserve. What you do on the day, form goes out the window. It's all about that 90 minutes of football decides your fate, and it's in your hands. It's at your feet. And these teams that have made it to the final deserve to be there. That being said, I echo my point that I made earlier. Bayern Munich are the team to beat in Europe and arguably world football. They're the best team I see anywhere at the moment.
Do you think it'll be a tight game?
I think it has the potential to. It depends on how Paris approach the game, how Tuchel sets up his side tactically, and where the battle will be won and lost, I believe, will be in midfield. I think whoever gets control of that midfield, you're going to see that attack or that defense either getting a grip or grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and taking control. I think Bayern Munich certainly have the quality and pedigree to win that battle in midfield over the, respectable and high caliber midfield that PSG have. And arguably Paris has a little more up front, but Mbappe still doesn't look completely himself after his return from injury. Neymar, his finishing has been questionable throughout the competition, but still has that little bit of magic that can unlock any defense in the world. Di Maria will be important for Paris Saint-Germain. He's experienced, he's won this competition before with Real Madrid, and I think he's going to be a crucial piece of the puzzle for them going into come out eventual champions for the first time. But Bayern Munich, they're a storied club. They've been there, done it, got the T-shirt, done it again, got printed another T-shirt, sold it worldwide. They're going for another treble. They've won their league and domestic cup, and they want to round things up and get the Champions League to show for their efforts, their quality, and this great side that they've put together.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a very balanced matchup. I'm definitely leaning towards Bayern, but when I look at the strongest starting 11 on both teams, there is some good matchups in there.
Watch PSG win 5-0. Oh man, the scenes.
No.
Clip this up to be like.
I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game, to be honest. If it is, it'll be very tight.
You never know, man. Red cards, goals, so many different elements of a final can tip the balance completely, right? We'll just see. I mean, you also tipped Shakhtar to make it to the final of the Europa League, and we all know how that turned out with a 5-0.
Yeah, I've been very good with my predictions lately, so.
Some of our friends actually have said that our predictions have all been wrong, and we might have a podcast curse that we put on teams when we tip them to win. So yeah, I in that case, I'm putting Paris through to win it.
All right, fair enough. I understand that. But yeah, let's talk about what's been happening in the transfer market. Obviously, there's been some movement. We haven't really spent much time discussing it in the last few episodes, but let's focus our attention or our eyes right there. What's happening with Jadon Sancho, man? Are you guys back in for him now, or
I don't know, man? Woodward won't answer my texts. I've been hitting him up, and he's just like, no. I mean, I'm getting the blue ticks, but he doesn't seem to be. I don't see him typing or getting back to me. I think the latest update that I got a hold of through some reputable sources, some not too kind of trustworthy, but everyone's kind of echoing everything that they hear, and a lot of it sounds like Dortmund have put an adamant absolute price tag of 120 million on Jadon Sancho, and they are no longer willing to accept installments paid over 3 to 4 seasons. They want most of that sum paid up front. The last update on the Manchester United front that I received earlier today was that we have turned our attention to David Brooks at Bournemouth. Good young player. He's 23. He's Welsh. Fits that British mold of most of Solskjaer's signings up till now, with the exception of Bruno Fernandes and Igalo on loan. It looks like he would be more of a squad depth signing rather than an alternative to Jadon Sancho. I think Sancho may still be on the cards, and in regards to marquee signings, Sancho may be the biggest one we do make if we can do our business and get it over the line. I think the player wants the move. I think United fans want the move. I think Dortmund fans are expecting it to be imminent. The only parties that are at any disagreement or discrepancy over the deal, getting done are Woodward, the chief negotiator, Matt Judge, of course, and Dortmund's transfer committee. I just think they want their price, and it seems like everyone thinks they can bully Man United to pay stupid amounts of money because recent history will show you that we aren't afraid to overpay for any players, especially when we desperately want them.
For me, looking at the signs that are there, what's come up from Dortmund, especially, this looks like it's Erling Haaland all over again. I don't think it's going to happen, man. At this stage, I'd be surprised if anything happens.
It's the same as it's similar to me in the sense of Harry Maguire last summer. We knew we were going to sign the man for about 2 months, and it was literally the day before we played Chelsea almost that he was unveiled and everything. Like, it was very last minute that it finally got brought over the line, and we ended up paying 80 million. We were 80 million short for our trouble. We've got till October 5th. That's when the window closes for English teams, and I honestly think we're just haggling and negotiating poorly and pissing off United fans as well as Dortmund's board, and the deal will eventually get done if we want it to get done. It's in Man United's hands. We have the funds, but granted, if we do pay whatever they're asking or thereabouts, I don't think it's going to be any less than 100 million ultimately, installments or not. I don't see us going for any other big name signings. I feel we definitely need to get another center back, perhaps, maybe a left-sided pacey partner for Maguire. Lindelof has seemed a little suspect. Maybe some fullback depth. That would be nice. I heard Alex Tejas was rumored from FC Porto. and depth signings in midfield.
All right. I mean, from the Arsenal side, there's been like a few, I guess, negative stories in the press lately.
What happened with Raul, bro?
Yeah, so Raul Sanllehi, the director of football, has been sacked, or at least the club announced its mutual termination.
Yeah.
Basically, the rumors are that there was an investigation being carried out into the Pepe deal from last summer. Basically, we're looking at why was this deal so expensive and why were we using certain intermediaries that made the deal like more costly. And some people are rumoring allegations that Raul might have pocketed some money out of that deal. He's also been, targeted because of his relationship with super agent Kia Korshaban. I can't pronounce his name. Chaborkian, whatever. Yeah, because we've signed like a few of his players, most recently Willian. And yeah, it's not a good look for this to happen during a transfer window. We've only signed Willian so far. Honestly, for me, I'm quite content in the signing. I think it adds a lot of depth, given that he can play on the left wing, on the right wing, and we really haven't got a backup for Pepe. And meanwhile, on the left wing, Martinelli and Saka are still quite young and honing their craft. So very good depth signing, if you ask me. And at 32, with his superb fitness record, Arsenal fans should be happy. More notably, we are also linked heavily now with Gabriel Iglesias from
Lille.
From Lille, yeah, ball playing center back. It just came out, I think, after the PSG game from L'Equipe that the deal's pretty much done. Napoli, who were our main contenders in getting him, are now looking at Socrates.
Wow.
It looks like Socrates could be going out to Napoli, and we'd be getting Gabriel from Lille.
I know United were linked briefly with Gabriel as well, but we came in very late. It looks like it is done and dusted, and he looks favored to move to Arsenal.
Yeah, Everton were linked as well, but they dropped out pretty early. Mm-hmm. It seems pretty solid that he'd be coming here. Personally, I never really give my confirmation or my green light, at least until he's got the shirt on, that is. Yeah.
When he's pictured with the gaffer with the kit in his hand smiling in front of the media, that's when you're like, I think we signed him now, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, out of this out of this rumor, we've also learned that Koulibaly might be going to Man City.
Yeah, I saw that as well. It looks like Pep really wants to change up that back line.
I told you this would happen.
He has to. That's their setup. That's how they do their business. If it's not working, they just pull out the pieces and replace it with better parts, or what they deem as better parts.
I told you Nathan Ake wouldn't be the number one center back.
No,
he's the backup.
Right.
They're gonna go for a top European center back. Rumors are still pretty light at the moment. But other than that, any other signings in the window?
Claudio Bravo has left City.
Has he?
Yeah, so he's gone.
Where's he going to?
I have no idea. I think they just released him. It remains to be announced or seen where he ends up. But yeah, in other goalkeeper news, you're Joe Hart, Jose Mourinho's first signing of the summer transfer window. I hope that makes its way to the Amazon Prime documentary.
No, I think that's pretty much
it's already in post-production. Yeah, it's done. No, but what do you think of this? Is this just a rotation signing for if Hugo Lloris or Gazzaniga get injured? What do you make of that one?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Spurs fans I've heard are saying that it's just to meet the homegrown quota, that he's English.
Right. Yeah. Maybe similar to what Jose did with Lee Grant at Man United previously.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd imagine because they've already got quite a few English players at Spurs, so I don't think that'd be an issue for them, unless there's players on the way out. But Chelsea are still chasing Kai Havertz. It's rumored that they are 20 million apart from Bayern Leverkusen's price tag. Yeah. Do you think that one's going to happen still, or?
I think it's up to Chelsea. I think the bigger issues for the Blues would be in their back line and their holding midfield area, their engine room. I think Havertz is considered more of a forward than he is a 10 or wide man. And I don't think Chelsea are lacking in quality in those positions, with the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, of course, Timo Werner and Tammy Abraham up top with Olivier Giroud. They look very top-heavy at the moment. I think the engine room and the defense, and obviously the goalkeeper, because they were rumored to go for Oblak at Atletico. I think those are much more important or crucial areas to address for Frank Lampard's side.
My guess is that because Kai Havertz is pushing for the move, but my guess is Chelsea's going to wait it out, try and get the price down and save money to invest into those defensive areas you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be the last signing of the window. So far, they've been doing the most business out of everyone. They've done the homework early. So it seems.
Yeah, it does look like that, and it looks like Woodward's always kind of scrambling to get his homework done on the morning he shows up to school.
Yeah, and I think it was you that told me that also Liverpool are after Thiago
Alcantara. Yeah. So once business is wrapped up for Bayern Munich in the Champions League final, I think we're going to see a few ins and outs. We already, of course, know Leroy Sané from Manchester City as all but confirmed. He is a Bayern Munich player, and he will be joining the scintillating side, potential treble winners next season. Elsewhere, Ronald Koeman at Barcelona. Announced, official, signed, sealed, delivered, and director of football Eric Abidal sacked, as well as Kiki Setien. Lots of changes, and this could change things in regards to Leo Messi leaving the club. It looks like he may end up staying after all. Have you followed up on any of this?
I've seen stories where Koeman said that, I'm trying to build the team on Messi, which I think any manager would say once he joined Barcelona at this stage.
Naturally.
But I think Messi wants to see ambition. We had Trish on last week, and he talked about, who he'd built the team around. I think Messi wants to see, who are you going to bring in to, play with me? Whether those signings are going to meet the quality or the standards that Barcelona has carried for so long,
Honestly, I think they're on their way down. And Messi at 33, personally, I feel he should, if he has that desire, which I believe he does, to continue winning at the top level and challenging for trophies, especially that elusive Champions League, he needs to do so away from Barcelona. Whether he does, whether he will, whether the rumors that Bartomeu has put out of Messi wanting to retire Barcelona are accurate, that remains to be seen. I believe Messi is definitely considering and reconsidering his position, future, and options with a leave away from the Camp Nou. I think PSG, we mentioned, as well as Juventus are possible destinations. But of course, you and I would relish the possibility of him coming to the Premier League.
Whether they made contact yet or not, we haven't heard anything yet. So there's much to be, to be discovered.
It's a big job Koeman has now. They're going to have to rebuild this entire Barcelona side, and there's going to be a lot of changes. I think Piqué is most likely on his way out, as well as Sergio Roberto, and Luis Suarez looks about done. Even question marks over Antoine Griezmann's future. I think the players that we could see staying is perhaps Sergio Busquets, obviously Ter Stegen, the goalkeeper. Messi, they want to desperately hold on to. And I think they're going to want to build around Luuk de Jong. Other than that, I think everyone else is dispensable. And I don't know if Messi has time on his side in order to kind of stick around, show the loyalty he's shown for well over a decade. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense from a professional standpoint. I understand loyalty in the game, and I respect that. But to continue his legacy and win the big prizes, I think he has to do so elsewhere.
We said this last week. It's now or never.
Exactly.
This is a time in his career where there's probably the least amount of risk attached to leaving.
If you were the greatest Argentinian man to ever don a pair of football boots, would you move away this summer or give Barcelona another year?
Me personally, I'd move this summer. You want to have a diverse career as a footballer, don't you?
Depends on who you are. Some people are content in the same neighborhood they were born in.
Yeah, but the common theme seems to be that, like once you've developed and you're hitting your peak or your prime years, you spend that time, traveling, moving abroad. And then later, once you're like coming down from your prime, you return to your boyhood club, whether that's in Argentina or if it's Barcelona, to like end your career, as an impact sub or whatever. But I'm only saying this because I've actually, just for fun, in my 5th season of Football Manager, I signed Messi on a free at 36 to Arsenal. Yeah, and I signed him as an impact sub only because the board wanted me to bring like high profile signings to Arsenal. So I was like, yeah, I mean he ticks those boxes. Although he's got like a stamina of like 1 out of 10. He's still.
Oh wow! Is that bad?
He's 36. He's aged poorly by the game standards, but he still hits some of the top ends, So
of course,
that's not the career I want to see for Messi in real life. Because as he ages, he's going to lose more importance in that team. Like he's not going to be the starting 11 forever. Like he's going to slowly transition to like the back and eventually decide that he has to retire. And there's no guarantee at this point that he's going to win as much as he'd like to win if he remains. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just remains to be seen. I think that away from all the latest transfer rumors and who's got who and who's going for who and everything else, I think that has kind of ever since that Bayern defeat, and us as football fans, naturally, everyone within the tribe seems to have a very short memory. I think as time fades, people will start, forgetting about certain rumors. People get over price tags and everything else. But that defeat, a team with Lionel Messi conceding 8 goals in a Champions League semifinal is just, it was the quarterfinal. The Champions League quarterfinal is just absolutely unheard of. And I think he deserves better. The quality of player that he is, the magic that he's inspired us with his talents and his mercurial gifts of godly footballing ability. He deserves a team that matches that quality, that ambition, and is able to get the most out of him. And Barcelona won't be that for a long while now. And certainly I don't foresee it happening before he will eventually retire.
Man, honestly, I don't really care too much. Trish, if you're listening, I wish you the best. But like, let's just see what happens. Yeah, like there's not much more to say, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and one final point. Because Lyon got kicked out of the Champions League, Ajax have now made it back into Europe's coveted competition. So Ajax will be back in the Champions League next season.
Is that because of the spots available?
Yeah, the spots available, and also Lyon finishing 7th in Ligue 1, and Ajax winning the Eredivisie.
I miss Ajax.
Great side. And it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they can do, whether we'll have another golden generation of young, exciting Dutch talent or talent harbored in the Dutch ranks at Ajax Amsterdam. Light up our screens and stadiums again.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up our episode. We will be looking forward to the Europa League and Champions League finals and more transfer news as it finds our way, as it all unravels. And you can find us on social media at Armchair Managers on Instagram and at AC_managers on Twitter. Please do follow us and keep up to date with all things Armchair Managers and our podcast. Any closing statements, Sibi?
Yeah. And if you would like to be on the podcast, please do shoot us an email or a DM on our socials. Let us know who you support, and we'll try and get you on.
That's all for us. See you next time, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.